Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari 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 Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe
Jaya Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe
Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram
Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram
Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai
Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse number 10. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitaha ekaki yata chittatma nirashir apparigraha. The meaning of this is, a transcendentalist should always try to concentrate his mind on the Supreme Self. He should live alone in a secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. He should be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness. Now, Srila Prabhupada explains the different points that are mentioned by Krishna in this description of the practice of the Ashtanga Yoga system, particularly selecting the proper place for sitting and doing meditation. Should always try to live in a secluded place alone. You see, this is one of the requirements of Ashtanga Yoga practice, Hatha Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. Now, people live in the cities and they are trying to practice living in the city this system of meditation. It's not going to work. And should carefully control his mind. We have discussed a lot about mind control in the previous 2-3 verses. How the mind is always going towards non-permanent things. But we have to bring back the mind away from everything material, everything temporary, everything non-permanent, and fix it and direct it inward towards the super soul, towards the Paramatma, the object of meditation. So, carefully control his mind and should always try to concentrate his mind on the Supreme Self. Now, Srila Prabhupada explains what is the Supreme Self. Krishna is the Supreme Self. Krishna is realized as Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan in different degrees. Krishna consciousness, concisely it means to be always engaged in transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord Krishna. But there are people who are following a different path than the path of bhakti, than the path of devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Their understanding of the absolute truth is impersonal Brahman or the localized super soul. So these are two different aspects of the absolute truth in addition to the ultimate aspect of Bhagavan or the Supreme Personality of God. So you have heard this before. 3 aspects of the absolute truth: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So of these 3, those who are attached to the impersonal Brahman or attached to the localized super soul, they are partially Krishna conscious. That is because impersonal Brahman is the spiritual effulgence of Krishna, spiritual ray coming from Krishna's transcendental form. And the super soul is the all-pervading expansion of Krishna in the material world only. So, it is said the impersonalist, one who tries to realize the absolute or the Supreme Self as the impersonal Brahman, is imperfectly Krishna conscious. Similarly, those who are trying to realize the absolute truth as the Paramatma, localized super soul, they are also imperfectly Krishna conscious. Nevertheless, whoever wants to follow this system, they have to actually fix their mind on the Supreme Self, either impersonal Brahman or the localized Paramatma or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In order to actually easily fix the mind on the Supreme, it is easily possible to fix the mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. That's because the devotees have Krishna's deity form, Vigraha, Archa Vigraha. Archa Vigraha is not something material, it is completely spiritual. Or the devotees fix their mind on the sound of the holy name of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Any name of the Supreme Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya or Om Namo Narayanaya. Like that, Om Shri Venkateshaya Namaha. Any of the personal forms, names of the personality of Godhead in his various incarnations, various forms in the spiritual world, unlimited forms. So that is very, very easy as compared to fixing the mind on the impersonal Brahman or the localized Paramatma. These are very, very, very difficult. Then in the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, verses 11 and 12, together they are given. Shuchau deshe pratisthapya sthiram asanam atmanaha natyuchritam nati nicham chailajina kushottaram tatraikagram manah kritva yata chittendriya kriyaha upavishyasane yunjad yogam atma vishuddhaye. These two verses, 11th and 12th, together they have been given. The translation are also given together. To practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should neither be too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and should practice yoga by controlling the mind and senses, purifying the heart and fixing the mind on one point. So Srila Prabhupada explains, sacred place refers to the places of pilgrimage, holy places. In India, generally the yogis or the transcendentalists or the devotees, they leave home and reside in sacred places such as Prayag, Mathura, Vrindavan, Rishikesh, Haridwar. Especially those who want to practice Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, they select some place where they can be alone, away from all the crowds, away from settlements, away from communities. And they live generally on the banks of sacred rivers like Yamuna, Ganga, Saraswati, like that. But this is not practical for majority of the people. How can they leave home and go just like that? And how can they? Nobody is practiced to live all alone. Nobody is practiced to live depending upon nature, some fruits, roots, berries. For Ashtanga Yogi, there is no question of cooking. He has to live on some whatever gifts of nature. So these are all not practically possible for the majority of the people in the stage of Kali. In any case, the system is being described by Krishna. Then the mind has to be completely controlled. To practice meditation, the mind has to be undisturbed. Now in this Kali Yuga, mind is always disturbed. Particularly in Kali Yuga. In general, in the material world, mind is disturbed. Sada samudvigna dhyam asadgrahat. Anybody who has accepted a material existence, either by choice or by force. We are in material existence means always the mind is disturbed. Whether we are aware of it or not, mind is disturbed. So to quieten the mind, to make the mind peaceful, so many things are recommended here in the earlier verses of this chapter. So, in the scriptures it is said that for Kali Yuga, when people's mind is always disturbed due to so many external reasons even, so it is best that they take up the mantra meditation instead of silent meditation of Ashtanga Yoga. Mantra meditation. What is that? Chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord, particularly the holy name as given in the Hare Krishna mantra. So that is the recommended process in this Kali Yuga. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verses 13 and 14. Samam kaya shiro grivam dharayan achalam sthiraha sampreksha nasikagram swam dishaschanavalokayan prashantatma vigatabhir brahmachari vrate sthitaha manas samyamya machitto yukta asita matparaha. The meaning of these two verses, 13 and 14. One should hold one's body, neck and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. So, Srila Prabhupada says the first point is that the goal of life should be Krishna. Krishna in the form of Vishnu Murti within the heart. The Paramatma form in the heart is Krishna himself in the four-handed form as Vishnu. Four-handed Vishnu form. So yoga practice is for discovering that Vishnu form within the heart, not for imagining some red light or some black dot or some concocted concentration on something. No, that is not yoga practice, authorized yoga practice. Somebody who is not trying to fix their concentration on the Vishnu form within the heart, they are simply wasting time. All these other types of concentration are not going to lead to self-realization, not going to lead to God realization. And also, one has to completely abstain from sex life, totally. Brahmachari vrate sthitaha. Brahmacharya vrata is absolutely essential for Ashtanga Yoga. That means grahasthas or those who are living with family, they cannot practice this Ashtanga Yoga at all. At all. Absolutely no. It's not meant for such people, Ashtanga Yoga practice, in terms of self-realization. Then, formerly there used to be training, brahmacharya training. Children used to be sent when they were 5 or 8 years old, between 5 and 8 years, to the Gurukul. And the young boy had to be obedient to the spiritual master. And actually, the spiritual master used to train, the guru used to train in menial service. Go and bring firewood for the spiritual master's home, or go and beg some grains, some rice or some dal. Like that, they used to, so many rules and regulations. But you see, Prabhupada points out in Bhakti Yoga system, Grahasthas can practice chanting Hare Krishna, living with wife. There is no need to go to a secluded place. There is no such rule. In fact, it is advised, live in the association of devotees, like-minded people. Good association is stressed in Bhakti Yoga. On the other hand, Ashtanga stresses alone, secluded place, far away from all communities, all groups of people. See, it is just the opposite of what Bhakti Yoga recommends. So therefore, we should understand this was meant for a different age. In fact, we will see in the later part of the 6th chapter, Arjuna rejecting this system as impractical, unendurable. That is because this was meant for Satya Yuga. It is not meant for other yugas. In other yugas, there may be some rare person who can still go to a place like in the Himalayas, can go there and can live off the nature, some nice fruits, nice rivers are there, nice water is there, nice hot water springs are there for winter. Everything is there in the Himalayas for this type of practice. But how many can do it? Most importantly, practicing brahmacharya vrata, controlling the mind. And that is a difficult part. Vigata bhi means completely fearless. One should not be sitting for meditation having the fear that some wild animal may come or somebody may come and disturb me. No, that kind of fear, if it is there, it's not going to work. The meditation is never going to happen properly. So all this is for a different age as far as the general people are concerned, and even for somebody in this age, some rare person may be able to do it. But it is certainly not recommended for everyone. In general, it is not recommended. I'll take some questions now. What should be the mood and qualifications for the devotees to enter Vrindavan and become Vrajavasis? Oh, entering Vrindavan in the right spirit to live there and practice bhakti is an advanced stage, actually. It's an advanced stage. Because in Vrindavan, to actually experience the presence of Krishna, who is eternally present there, requires a certain amount of sufficient practice and seriously following all the principles, coming to a certain level of advancement. Then only one can go to Vrindavan, stay there and actually properly practice at the advanced level. Otherwise, wherever you stay, if you are engaged in chanting Hare Krishna, if you are engaged in following the basic principles, that place is as good as Vrindavan for you. Because the same benefit is available because of the process itself. The process itself makes it available. That's why Prabhupada preached all over the world. He was himself in Vrindavan. But he traveled everywhere and preached to people, remain at your home, but you chant Hare Krishna. You offer food and take prasadam. You read Bhagavad Gita. Like that, the basic principles can be practiced anywhere. But advanced stage, yes. One has to get advanced association of advanced devotees. And therefore one has to go to places like Vrindavan. How to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra with pure love of Krishna? That is the final stage, the final stage of chanting. Chanting progresses in 3 stages. The beginning stage is when we do not know anything about offenses against the holy name, or we come to know, but then we are unable to avoid. There are 10 offenses against the holy name. One should avoid these offenses. In the beginning, we may not even know. As we keep making progress, then we'll come to know about these offenses. So offensive stage it's called, when we commit offenses, either knowingly or unknowingly, either intentionally or unintentionally, unavoidably, somehow we commit offenses. Then we learn how to avoid offenses. Then by striving very hard and following all the principles, we try to avoid offenses. We come to the stage where we start clearing the offenses. That means I have sufficiently practiced avoiding the offenses, so I don't commit offenses. Mostly I avoid almost all the offenses, but still accidentally, by force of old habit or some rare occasion, I may still be committing offenses. Still, that is considered the clearing stage, the second stage of chanting Hare Krishna. Then the topmost stage is called pure stage, chanting purely without any offenses, and not only avoiding offenses completely, but also having that taste for chanting, having attraction for the holy name, completely detached from everything material. That's the pure stage. So that is the stage of pure love for Krishna is awakened in the heart. Next question. Can you explain the key difference between Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva and Vishishtadvaitam? Now, all the Vaishnava philosophies of different acharyas, Vaishnava acharyas, different philosophies, technically there are some differences, but essentially they are all the same. That's why the question also says both sound similar. Yes, all are similar. Not only Achintya Bheda Bheda and Vishishtadvaita. Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, Dvaitadvaita, Kevala Dvaita, whatever you take, all are actually similar only. Because all accept Vishnu, means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, as the Supreme Absolute Truth, the highest aspect of the Absolute Truth. All teaches surrender to that Supreme Lord. All teaches that we are actually devotees eternally. We have forgotten our relationship. Everything is same in that sense. But technically there are some differences. For example, in Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva, the understanding of the Supreme Lord's pastimes in Vrindavan. The devotees in Vrindavan, the service they render is understanding Krishna to be their dearmost friend. On an equal level, they treat Krishna as their friend. Or even Krishna becomes subordinate to his devotees like Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, the elderly gopis. Krishna becomes subordinate as their beloved child. So then Mother Yashoda can even scold Krishna, can actually punish Krishna. Once she tied Krishna to a wooden grinding mortar because he was very naughty. So like that kind of relationship, that kind of devotional service, that is unique to this understanding of Krishna's specific position in this Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Whereas the other Vaishnava philosophies, there is understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Narayana, the Supreme Lord in Vaikuntha, the Vaikuntha mood. Though there is no essential difference because the Supreme Lord is one person, He is present in many forms, He reciprocates with His devotees exactly according to their surrender. He is one and He does not discriminate between this devotee, that devotee. Neither He has got a feeling of superiority or inferiority, nothing like that. As far as Krishna is concerned, He equally reciprocates with every devotee, every pure devotee. But definitely the revelation of the absolute truth is different depending on the way the devotees relate with the Supreme Lord. some friends' kitchen where non-veg cooked occasionally, if they offer fruits, milk, cheese, they will still use the water, tap, sink, fridge, kitchen slab in the same kitchen. Is this acceptable? Well, it is said in the scriptures, fruits and milk are not contaminated. Of course, they cannot heat milk in the same vessel in which they cook meat. That is not acceptable. But if they are taking care to heat milk in a separate pot in which they don't cook non-veg, then such milk may be accepted. Fruits, of course, they are not contaminated, provided, again, the knife that they use for cutting the fruit is not the same as the knife they use for cutting meat. That is definitely to be avoided. Otherwise, it's okay. But you should also remember that such people cannot offer. Those who are eating non-veg, they cannot offer anything to the Supreme Lord, because the Supreme Lord does not accept unless it is offered with bhakti. And the bhakti minimum requirement is at least a person does not support or indulge in animal killing. So such a person cannot be said to be offering with bhakti. So you have to mentally offer. In case somebody offers you fruit, then you have to mentally offer such fruit, and then you may accept it. As for occasional non-veg use, see, occasional non-veg is only indicative that somebody was habituated to eating non-veg and gradually they are trying to reduce, and hopefully one day they will completely give up. In that sense, it is appreciable. But there is no question of using that kitchen at all. There is no provision like that for using that kitchen for offering or cooking the offering. No. Next question. Is there any order of reading Bhagavad Gita chapters? Yes, you have to read in the order in which it is given. You have to read in the order in which it is given. Definitely the whole subject matter is developed systematically from the first chapter to the last chapter. Please define localized Paramatma. Paramatma is called localized because even though he is present everywhere, he is present in the form of Vishnu Murti in your heart. He is present in the form of Vishnu Murti in another person's heart. In every person's heart he is present as Vishnu Murti. Even though he is actually one and he is as present everywhere. He is one person present everywhere. But actually, as far as I am concerned, he is within my heart as Vishnu Murti. Four-handed form, definite form. He is present. He is sitting next to me. He is personally guiding me. He is actually giving me intelligence. He is digesting the food as the fire of digestion in the stomach. Like that. You read the Bhagavad Gita, you will understand. So localized means even though he is present everywhere, he is actually also perceived. He is actually there individually in everybody's heart. That is his inconceivable power. One person, but he is simultaneously present in everybody's heart without any exception. How does a Krishna conscious person decide what to accept and what to reject? Is it based on its present utility in Lord's service? Now, what to accept and what to reject, simple formula is what is favorable for Krishna consciousness you accept, what is against the practice or principles of Krishna consciousness you reject. Utility in the Lord's service is a higher stage, but immediately it is the simple thumb rule is what is favorable for you in Krishna consciousness you accept. And what is unfavorable, you reject. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.